Now, it being, of course, Nelson Mandela International Day, with a call to action being, it is still in your hand, or in our hands, to combat poverty and inequity. Why is the Nelson Mandela Foundation participating in these discussions happening today?
Well, you will remember, I'm sure, Madiba in 2008, as he was turning 90 years of age, in 2 speeches conveying the sense that the world was in a worse shape than when he came out of prison, but that he felt he was too old to keep contributing. And that's when he said, it's in your hands now. And so for us, it's about continuing the work that he and his generation of leaders started. But there's an urgency now. Madiba died in 2013. We're in worse shape than we were then. And for us then, it's about finding the will to do differently, because we have capacity to do differently. But human behaviors have to change. And we also have to be willing to think outside of boxes. If we look at the scale of human migrations globally now, it's clear that we're going to have to find a way to think outside of the box of the nation state. What does that look like? We have to reimagine democracy. So we're here because we want to contribute not only to the work that gets your hands dirty, but also to that very important work of thinking differently.
Vern, one of the biggest, I guess, tensions that we deal with at the Nelson Mandela Foundation is the tension between the 18th of July being a moment of massive mobilization versus sustainable, ongoing work being done. How do we marry those two? And how do we, in this particular conversation, encourage people, in essence, to make every day a Mandela Day, and then, in turn, have the significance of the 18th of July?
Well, we try as far as possible to always connect the activations that we participate in around the 18th of July to the longer-term systemic work that we do and that our partners do. And Mandela Day provides nothing more than a platform for reminding ourselves of Madiba's calls to us, but also reminding ourselves of that longer-term work that still needs to be done. And to pick up on a couple of the points here is, it's clear that we have to find ways of giving meaning to the social contract that underpins democracies wherever you find them in the world. Secretary General just a couple of years ago talked about needing to reimagine that social contract. And so a lot of the work that we're doing that links into our Mandela Day activations is precisely about exploring collaborative work that involves the private sector, civil society, and the state. We have to address what we see as a growing alienation from these formal processes and formal structures of all 3 sectors. You know, we engaged with young people really intensely through last year around not giving up on elections. So many of our young people chose not to vote. So those are some of the challenges that are not addressed by a Mandela Day activation or an event like this. But you've got to be pointing to that long work that is demonstrating that you can change systems of power that are not delivering to people.
Vern, I think the one thing that stood out about Madiba was his ability to bring parties from across the spectrum together in some shape or form of unity. How do we achieve that in this climate? How do we bring communities, business, government, international community, everyone together towards reaching these goals?
Well, let me first say I don't have great hope that we will achieve those goals. And in fact, I'm sure we won't globally. And hope is not enough. What inspires us about Madiba is his extent to keep fighting, keep believing, even when contexts, situations are hopeless. And I think for us globally and here in South Africa, perhaps particularly, is what brings us together is finally understanding that we either find solutions together or we won't find solutions. We all have a stake in finding that transformation, that change that is desperately needed.